2004, I had just signed with the Toronto Young Nationals. It was a training camp, a couple weeks going into regular season. It was first skate at training camp, and I remember taking just a basic cross-ice pass. And visually, I remember the teammate giving the pass, but I remember losing track of the puck. And visually, I'd say that's the last memory. It was the pass from a teammate in training camp, and boom, gone. I think going through my mind at the time was simply just needed a basic eye test to get glasses. I was having trouble reading, seeing print, was having trouble tracking the puck in hockey. I would have never expected in the wildest world that it was something more severe.
Like many young hockey players, Mark DeMontis always dreamed of playing professional hockey. But after a visit to the doctor, everything changed.
So I ended up getting an eye test from an eye doctor, you know, the infamous E-chart, and with one eye I was able to read off letters, but as soon as I shut the other eye, the doctor, the E-chart, everything had just vanished, everything was gone. And I think that was when I realized that this was a little bit more serious than what I had thought it was going to be. And doctors had sent me right to hospital for sick children for further tests. And what they found was an inflammation of my optic nerves. So with both optic nerves, they're very pale. They're very inflamed, almost the color white. And that's often one of three things. It could either be a brain tumor, multiple sclerosis, or just a rare eye condition. I was fortunate after a week long at hospital for sick children that I was diagnosed with a rare eye condition called Leber's hereditary optic neuropathy, or LHON. And what it is a condition that takes away the central sight in both your eyes. Within moments, I was legally blind.
He was planning on playing NCAA hockey, and hopefully that would lead to a career in the NHL. Once he was diagnosed, he didn't want to step back from the game that he loved, so he decided to join the Blind Hockey League, playing with the Toronto Ice Owls.
The basic similarities between traditional hockey and blind hockey is that it's played on ice. The objective is to score on the opposing net and to continue the idea behind it being a team game. The difference, though, in blind hockey is the fact that all players in the ice are legally blind to fully blind, meaning 10% vision or less to 0%. Players in the offense are typically higher partial, so they have between 5% vision to 10% vision. Players that play defense, typically 5% vision to 1%. The goalies are totally blind, 0% vision. You see the adaptive puck that makes noise. The majority of this game is relied on communication. I know we're stressed growing up in ice hockey that you need to communicate with your team. You need to communicate with your team. In blind hockey, you have to communicate with your team because players are visually impaired. They can't see just as well. So you need to be constantly talking, be communicating, using your ears. I think other than that, it's still the same great game we all love. It's just it's played with a few modifications, a few adaptations. But again, I look forward every Sunday to getting out playing with the Toronto Ice Owls blind hockey team. I look forward to traveling with the Canadian team and playing the game. And I hope I can do this the rest of my life. I mean, there's some players that play competitively, they're in their 40s and 50s. If I could be playing hockey for like 15, 20 years, I mean, now to me, that's a dream come true.
Seeing the blind hockey program was not getting regular funding, DeMontis realized he could finally make a difference in people's lives by raising money for those with disabilities. He started the Courage Hockey program that gives visually impaired athletes an opportunity to play the game that they love. One
of the biggest things about blind hockey is, just like traditional hockey, when you talk about affordability, the game's not cheap, it's expensive. And so many things, from transportation to equipment to ice time to traveling fees to tournaments to away games. I mean, there's so many costs. And so for a family, for someone who has someone who's blind or partially sighted, they often have to pay so many additional costs in their life anyways, so it becomes even more expensive. Some things that a child who's blind or partially sighted would need, not just playing hockey, is the similar things, assistive devices in school, technology, being able to ensure they have the best of the best so they can participate in school and their academics. And so things can get so expensive for a family, and that's why it's so important that corporate Canada tries to find so many ways to help people, not just who are able-bodied, who are less fortunate, but who also have a disability to play the game. I mean, this is our nation's game, and these young people who have a disability, we should really find ways in through corporate Canada, through our communities, to try and ensure that we can raise some funds to help this, these costs associated with it. I'd say most people, I think most people presume that, it's easy in the charitable world to just raise money, and it's very difficult. It is not easy. You're constantly building relationships with brands, and you're constantly trying to do fundraising events to put on, these functions to raise funds, and it's not easy. And anything we can do to play our part to ensure that young people get this chance, and we should. And that's what I do every single day. I ensure that I stand for support, and if we're coming across a corporation or a brand or someone who's trying to figure out how to get into the hockey community, we introduce them to the Canadian Blind Hockey Association and all the great programs, and tell them to visit blindicehockey.com and learn all about the sport, not just in Canada, but as well the international blind ice hockey movement that's happening around the world with USA Hockey and other national sport organizations around the world in the European countries. So there's so much happening, and it's so important we get that support.
Despite the challenges that come along the way, DeMontis has been inspired by his diagnosis and is glad he can continue to do the thing that he loves.
But I'm now still able to represent Canada. I'm able to work in broadcast like I want to do. I'm still able to do all these things even despite what had happened to me. I think that's a lot that is stemmed because I had dreams, I had purpose, I had goals. I wanted to live a happy, and still do, a happy life that's fulfilling. And so I never in my wildest mind would I ever think I'd be playing blind hockey and that I at 30 years old would be visually impaired. I mean, I would have never imagined. But what I did imagine was that no matter what came my way, I'd find a way to get through it, over, under it, just some way to get around it. That's how I was raised, just kind of bear down and bit of a blue collar mentality. Whatever it takes to get through an obstacle, find a way to do it, and you only live once.
DeMontis also realizes that he takes a risk every time he goes on the ice, but he would find it hard to give the game up that he has so much passion for.
I was at a recent, the Eastern Championship Blind Hockey Tournament in Montreal recently, and I took a pretty bad spill. I got rubbed out on the boards, and I remember skating to the bench, and my shoulder felt like it had popped, and it was sore, and I was sitting there, and I was holding my shoulder, and I was thinking to myself on the bench, and I was just like, I was sitting there, and I was getting angry, and finally, all of a sudden, I thought to myself, like, with a huge smile on my face, I finally felt like I was back playing the game I loved. And so it's funny because people, again, redefining adversity, most people think injury is something harmful, something negative. But for me, that little spill and that little shoulder injury it put a smile on my face because it made me realize I'm back. I'm playing the game I love. I'm in full force. It's competitive. I'm on the ice. I'm playing each shift like it's my last. Yeah, it's all how you define it. For others, injury could put them out. I guess for me, injury just motivates me to get on the next shift.